What's up YouTube, it's Retro Zapdos here, aka Josh, and this time around we are going to explore the journey of video game controllers. Yeah, that's right, another top 10 video for you guys, and we are going into the times with all the best controllers that I personally think are the best and most enjoyable to play with. I'm excluding the 8th generation of consoles since I haven't played that much on them, so my opinion isn't that great of them. So that will change in the future, so for now we are just excluding those and going more into the retro stuff and every console I own at the moment, and giving the top 10 list of the best controllers. So this is my opinion, so if you have better suggestions and yeah, what do you think are your best controllers, then put them in the comment section, and we are going straight into the journey. Follow me and we are beginning. Number 10! Okay, the Nintendo Wii with nunchuck controller. This is actually the number 10 spot since I don't enjoy motion controls in general, but it actually revolutionized the controller genre where we have this Wii remote that actually feels like you're in a video game. We all had that moment where we're bowling and stuff. This nunchuck is also pretty neat. There's like a boxing. The Nintendo Wii actually came with Wii Sports to test out the full potential of this controller. It has been sold like a lot. The Nintendo Wii is one of the most best-selling consoles of all time, so everyone had their moment with this particular controller. I don't think it's that great of a controller besides the motion controlling, since the buttons are kind of hard, and if you're like playing Super Smash Bros, your thumb can actually be a bit sore after playing with this controller. So that's why it's number 10. Number 9! Remember where Nintendo wasn't the brand? Well, me neither. This controller revolutionized in its own way because of the D-pad. We have this Nintendo Entertainment System controller that actually is just like a block. What else do you need? Select, start, A, B, and the directional pad. The D-pad, of course. You played a lot of games on this particular controller, like Super Mario Bros. 3, Legend of Zelda, amazing titles on the NES with this basic controller that did the trick for us. Number 8! The Nintendo 64 Controller. Yeah, what can I say about this? Nintendo 64 is my favorite console of all time, so why is this so low on the list? Well, because look at it. It's the M-shaped controller. Nintendo never went back with this type of controller. As you see, as the first controller actually to use the analog stick for 3D gaming, which was really great at the time, but as you see, it's kind of clunky with, you don't know how to hold this controller. Do you hold it like this or like that? It's, yeah, it's great for a game like, it also, like GoldenEye, it was great to play it with the Nintendo 64 controller because there was nothing else except for a keyboard and a mouse to play shooter games. So yeah, but I'm not particularly a fan of the Nintendo 64 game. I do prefer like playing Nintendo 64 games on a virtual console or something else with another controller, because I'm gonna give you better controllers up ahead. Number 7! The Sega Genesis, aka Mega Drive controller. Yeah, this controller fits right into your hand. Really great. It has 3 action buttons, A, B, C. What else do you need? The alphabet, only 3 letters here. We have a start button, no select here because otherwise they would fake Nintendo completely, but they also use the directional pad, but with a bit of an extend, as you see, so you can move like sideways and stuff. It's a really great controller for platformers. I still enjoy it today, and I actually have only one complaint on this controller, is that the cord isn't that long. So yeah, maybe if they're like a wireless Genesis controller, I would definitely buy it because the cord is just too short. Number 6! The Super Nintendo Controller, SNES. Yeah, that's right, we see a lot of colors here. It's also the sheen they used on the Nintendo 64 controller, but they were first to actually input some colors here. So you have like 4 action buttons, X, Y, A, and B. We also have start and select. They are actually keeping that for a lot of generations, because the start and select was introduced in the Game Boy period and in the NES era. And I definitely enjoy playing with this controller. It's really simple with the L and R trigger introduced to improve the NES controller. And this extent has a really long cord, better than the Genesis one. So this is really enjoyable to play platformers with. And yeah, in general, I have no complaints about this controller. It's standard and really perfect in my opinion. Number 5! the Nintendo Wii Gamepad. Yeah, this was introduced after the nunchuck, and this is way better to play your virtual games on your Nintendo Wii because we have two analog sticks which are really great and function really well. I do play the Super Smash Bros. Brawl with this particular controller because it has some extra functions, like if you press this button on the left, you actually have like a regular Smash already implemented. We also have the ZR button and the ZL button introduced, and it's a really tiny controller just like the SNES and the NES one, but it feels really natural playing on this simple controller. That's why I enjoy it so much. If I've ever played a Wii game and it's compatible with this, I always use it. Number 4! The PlayStation DualShock. Yeah, this was introduced to actually compete with Nintendo 64's Rumble Pack, introduced for the Nintendo 64. This had Rumble, this had extra triggers, this had analog sticks. It had everything, man. It was so awesome that they stick with this type of controller like for 10 years. The PlayStation 2 also had this controller, the PlayStation 3 had this controller, but the PlayStation 3, as I'll be mentioning later, this is just the standard version with a pretty long cord. It fits in your hand perfectly. That's why they stick with this controller all this time. It has the triangle, circle, cross and square buttons that we are familiar with. And yeah, also a D-pad, start and select button, and yeah, there's also a way to turn off your analog sticks so you can play with the directional pads instead. Yeah, it's I can't complain about this controller. I have used it many years, throughout the years, played a lot of games on it, and this is still a perfect design. I do prefer it over the PlayStation 4 one, a matter of fact, but that's maybe some nostalgic kicking in. Number 3. Okay, we are at the number 3 spot, the top 3, and the bronze medal goes to the PlayStation 3 Controller. Yeah, as I said, I'm not including the 8th generation console, so this is one of the most perfect controllers in my opinion. This is wireless, and a fun fact here, this is the DualShock number 3. Actually, when they released the PlayStation 3 at like $500 or $600 in the beginning, they didn't include the rumble feature, so it wasn't the DualShock, but because they had the syntax that you can move around, and they did not know how to actually bundle it into one controller at the time. But I'm happy to have a DualShock number 3 to play a lot of games with rumble. So yeah, as I already mentioned, the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 DualShock was great. This was even better because the L and R trigger are a bit looser, and we also had the ability to charge it up, and having 4 controllers that are compatible with each other to play multiplayer games instead of having a multi-tap on your PlayStation 2 and stuff. This was perfect for me. We also have a home button on the PlayStation menu to actually put some music on while you're gaming and stuff. I'll go back to your menu. It's a perfect design, and the PlayStation 4, I'm gonna review that later on the 8th generation console controllers when I'm implementing that. So yeah, the number 3 spot, PlayStation 3. Number 2, Xbox 360. Yeah, this controller actually is amazing. We had also a home button just like the PlayStation 3 one, but Xbox actually did it first. So we have the analog sticks, but they are actually fitting way better because your thumb actually moves around and the other thumb is here. So it feels more natural than the PlayStation controllers, and for shooting games it's also really great. And yeah, this also has a D-pad, but nobody uses that except for changing your weapon. And we also had the A, B, X and Y button, which they kind of ripped off of the Super Nintendo controller, but I don't mind since it fits in your hand. It can be used with AA batteries as well as charging it up. So yeah, no complaints here, a great controller, and you definitely have an awesome time when you're playing Xbox 360. Number 1! The GameCube WaveBird controller. This actually has been released a bit later in the GameCube era, and this is actually the first controller to import like wireless technology. So Nintendo did it first, or yeah, maybe some others, but this is most mainstream wireless controller. This was great playing Super Smash Bros. Melee, Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, you name it, Legend of Zelda, a lot of games actually. We played it wireless. And the reason that I like this controller so much is because the L and R triggers fit into your fingers like this. It holds really well, and the analog stick is something that I really enjoy. you know the sound and stuff. The A button also was enlarged because this is the main button that we use on gaming. Also an X and Y button. Really not showing off that much. They don't have colors, so the main buttons were the A and B, of course. Now we have C buttons in all directions, and this can also be implemented or charged with some batteries here, AA batteries. And the reason I like this one so much is that it uses the infrared technology, which has 16 channels, so you can hook up a bunch of WaveBirds and have yourself a Super Smash Bros. Marathon and stuff. And also the reason I like it so much is because we can play Game Boy Advance games thanks to the Game Boy Advance adapter on the GameCube. Playing this, so a lot of Game Boy Advance games that I enjoyed so much were played by using this amazing controller. If you see one on eBay or at a garage sale, definitely pick it up. It's my best choice for the best controller of all time. Okay, that concludes this video. I hope you had a blast, and definitely let me know what you play with the most, best controllers in your opinion. And definitely give it a like if you enjoyed the video, because you know I always appreciate your help, be it by submitting some suggestions and stuff, and giving it a like, and maybe subscribing if you want to see more gaming videos. The main channel is focused on Pokemon, so yeah, some Let's Plays are coming your way. So yeah, that's it. Have a nice day, and most of all, stay fresh, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.